Hope you're okay. Oh God, what have we done here? One second. Technical difficulties. That's that fixed. That's that fixed. That's that fixed. But yeah, I hope you're good. Dale says hi. How is it going? It is going good. Had a good weekend. Busy weekend. How's things with you? Harry says hello. How are you? All good. How are you? I listened to your diss track. It was very good. But I hope all is going well with you. Evelyn says hello. How are you, Evelyn? Hope you've had a good weekend. Fish is saying a lot of things. He's saying Harry can't hear TU. I think that's the point where I think Harry said last time put the volume up, you melon, which was quite good. How are you, Pixel? Hope you're good. I was playing that game today. Hell is Us. I'm getting into it now. The lack of a map is actually really good, because you actually feel kind of lost. So it kind of recreates that aspect. But yeah, I was gonna say I recommend that game. I'm too early in it yet to recommend it, but it's looking good based on what I can see. Fish says F, I know G. Sir, can I have a help, I think. And then he says, my mom wants some cake Yanazai. Well, I think we established last time your mom likes red velvet cake, so perhaps go for that. Ah, Fish is eating, that makes sense. That's probably why you're making less sense than usual. Charlie says, what match are you doing? Germany versus Northern Ireland, aka Florian Wirtz versus Conor Bradley. Harry's all right, thanks. His muscles are killing him because 6 weeks without footy and now footy for 2 hours straight. Ah, yes. You have the, what's it called? DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. Is that the one? But you'll get better. You'll get better. You do heal like Superman, after all. Let's see. Fish says hat of the stream. Yeah, I went for this kind of vague one. Fish says we do not care, Harry. And then Harry says no one really cares about your input. No offense. I think Harry's at his limit for Fish. Harry was Harry had a good run with respect to maintaining his composure, but now he's on a mission. Charlie says Bradley. Yeah, I hope Bradley's playing. He should be. Yeah, if you look at this, that's Germany. So Wirtz is playing in the number 10, which is, and then Bradley's playing. I don't know what you want to call that, right wing back, but yeah, Bradley's playing as well. Which is good. Fish is giving Harry a red card. That's unfortunate. Now to Liverpool. Is this the one that you mentioned this morning? I can't lie. That's one of the first things I read when I woke up. So I was like, okay. Let me take a step back. At first, I thought you were making a player up, and then I searched on YouTube, and no, he's actually a player. So, and he's a right winger. So if he's good, you might be onto something. Harry says, have you heard Onana has gone on loan? Indeed, I have. He's gone to Trabzonspor or some Turkish team. Yeah. What more can you say? It's the Man United way to a certain degree. Pay ludicrous money for a player. Player turns out rubbish. Loan them a few times and then lose everything you invested. Fish says Harry is popping. I don't know what popping means. Durwood says, hello, champion family. How are you doing? Hope you're good. How's the unpacking progressing? Hope that's going good. Germany have just unpacked a goal kick. So let's see. You know, when I've not done this for a few days, I'm like, how do I set the timer again? There we go. RG says new room Germany. Same room. I've just moved the camera around slightly. I don't know if I like this or if I prefer this. Lennon says hi. How you doing? Voltamade's playing today. Up top. So we'll see how he does. I'm just trying to see if there's any other Newcastle players. Doesn't look like it. But to be fair, he's probably the main one you're interested in. Fish, I have absolutely no idea what that means. But I'm glad to hear you had a productive weekend. So, Germany attacking left to right. Which means Ireland going right to left. Ikram says Ishak, Owen or Fowler. It's tough. It's tough to. I mean, it's tough to say because Fowler's career has finished and Owen's career has finished and Ishak's career has not finished. What I will say is peak Michael Owen was very good, especially when he was like 18, 19 kind of thing. I know Fowler was very good as well, but Fowler was kind of slightly before my time. When I kind of started watching football when I was growing up, that's when Fowler was going out of the team and that's when Owen was coming into the team. What are people saying? Lennon says Owen. Mason Jason Aviation says Isaac's out of the conversation. Probably Owen, unfortunately. There was unpacking is going great. Got excited, thought I was close to being done, but I remembered I still had stuff in the garage. Oh, that is annoying. The good news is you are progressing. I guess that's a positive to a certain degree. But yeah, it's good to hear you're getting there slowly. I'm just trying to catch up on the beef. Harry says, Fish, you are weird and I can't be bothered with your nonsense anymore. That Fish just has a picture of a chicken. Yeah, Fish, what is your hair colour? Just out of curiosity. RG255 went to Skegness yesterday. The most scary ride for me is the pirate ship. Interesting. Did you have fun? Hope you had a good day. Is pirate ship the one that rocks? Like goes up and then goes down? But I hope you had a good Saturday. Lennon, it used to be Lennon Fence, has said happy of Isaac's price or not, 130 million, 300 grand a week. I mean, I can't lie, it is on the upper end. It is on the upper end of the scale. But equally that seems to be the market rate for a for a Premier League proven striker. I think having played in the Premier League, that perhaps increased his price slightly. From a wage perspective, so he's on 300. I think Van Dijk's on 350-ish. Salah's on about 400. So 300 from a wage perspective, I think makes sense. From a price perspective, I think 130 is maybe a bit high. But like if he's the guy for you, there's no point missing out over like 10 million. Like you can just sell a kid from the youth team for 10 million kind of thing. So whilst it is a bit high, if he's the one that the data is pointing to, then 10 million, which is basically pennies, I don't think should have a serious impact. Fish is strawberry blonde. Interesting. Is there a difference between strawberry blonde and ginger? Or is ginger like a more intense red? RG255 had a fantastic time. At Skegness, it looks like. Fish says he's not ginger, he's got white hair. I mean, you're too young to have white hair. I doubt that. Jack says, who's your top 7 for this season? Not in any particular order. Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea. That's 4. Newcastle, who I still think will do. I still think will do really well. I think Villa might drop off. Ooh, Adeyemi's through here. Adeyemi's on 1-on-1. Sorry, not Adeyemi. Gnabry. But he scores. He chips the keeper. I was thinking Adeyemi's put on a bit of weight. I should have known that was Gnabry because the ball actually went in. I think the remaining 2 positions are up for grabs. I don't think Man United will get it. Villa maybe, Brighton maybe. The trouble is, like, after the top 4, that bunch of teams, they're very close, and a lot of it can come down to luck with respect to injuries. RG says, I cannot believe Isak cost that much. Yeah, crazy. It's a crazy market. Jack says 7 Newcastle, 6 Villa, 5 Arsenal, 4 Man United, 3 City, 2 Liverpool, 1 Chelsea. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Not outside the realms of possibility. Other than the Man United, they're not getting 4th. No chance. But the others look quite reasonable. Chelsea could win it. Ikram says, can Kirkes provide attacking assists regularly? I hope so. I mean, he got a lot of attacking assists last year. So much so that he got into the team of the season. I appreciate attacking assists isn't the be-all and end-all, but he looked very good last year. I'm sure he'll get a lot of assists. It just depends kind of how the fullbacks are going to play, because if you think about it, Kirkes is very attacking, Frimpong is very attacking, so does that mean one is going to have to sit back certain times, and is that going to limit the number of assists? Who knows? Fish says, not sure if I should eat fish. Well, I would not recommend that if you are a fish yourself. That might be against the laws of the ocean to a certain degree. Kevin Campbell to Liverpool, here we go. You keep saying this, Fish. But on what planet are Liverpool going to buy Kevin Campbell? He's like 400 years old. The other suggestion that you gave, the winger, at least he was 23 or something. I can see that happening. Was it Nauf or something? At least I can see that one happening. I think Voltamade was through, but it was a foul. Oh well. Ikram says, do you think Liverpool need a new striker in the transfer window? No. Considering they've just bought two new strikers, I'd say they're okay in that position. I think the priority should be a centre back because this team is one Van Dijk injury away from falling down the league. So centre back should be the priority. Maybe a midfielder, but again, if they're good. I also don't want the team, and I'm sure they wouldn't, but just to buy somebody for the sake of it to make up the numbers. Fish is maintaining that he's strawberry blonde. I mean, I'm going to need to see proof of this. Germany insist on just fouling every 2 seconds. Northern Ireland have gone down again. RG's is number 7, Crystal Palace, 6, Man City, 5, Man United, 4, Chelsea, 2, Villa. Wow. Interesting. I wouldn't have Villa quite so high. Is there a particular reason you'd put them in position 2? Fish is in the thick of it. Indeed you are. You are always in the thick of it. Ikram says, is Mamadashvili's shot stopping top class? Well, that's what he's known for. Apparently he's a very good shot stopper, good reflexes, very tall, long wingspan. So yeah, his shot stopping is his strength. He played a bit in pre-season, made a few saves, but it depends. It depends what you class as top class. Do you mean world class? I guess he hasn't really had the chance to prove if it's world class, but based on what I can see, it looks pretty good. And to be honest, he wasn't particularly expensive either. So all things considered, I'm happy with him. Fish is in 11%. 11% of what? And he also says, I don't know what I've been talking. Welcome to my world. 95% of the time, I don't know what you're saying. Actually, no, 90% of the time. 10% of the time I do. Come on, international football. Move the ball quicker, please. Who's this Lueling guy? Lueling. He's Germany's number 7. Lueling. Fish's phone, sorry, Tupac's phone is on 900%. How have you worked that out? Have you bought a battery pack that is 9 times bigger in capacity than your phone in order to yield a 900% battery? Is that what you've done? Or have you done something else? Llewellyn wins the ball back. Gnabry through. Cuts back. Passes it to Voltamade. Voltamade loses the ball. Is it Voltamad? I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm saying Voltamade. But to be fair, Gnabry kind of squared it from the wing. Voltamade was in the middle. He just had a bit of difficulty getting the ball out of his feet. But to be fair, there were 4 players on him. So you can't really blame him too much for that. Ikram says, could Mamardashvili become the league's best backup? You'd hope so. I mean, it looks really good. Had a really good season for Valencia last year. And even as a backup, I'd say he's better than quite a few kind of starting keepers. So you'd hope so. I mean, I'd certainly make the argument that Kelleher last year was the league's best backup. Mamardashvili's taking over from him. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. In pre-season it looked fine, but it's tough. It's tough to form any conclusive conclusions of pre-season. Fish says, Tupac says Manquillo to Fulham. Here we go. Is he still playing? Is Manquillo still around? Okay, I'm going to Google this. I mean, his Wikipedia just kind of ends at 2024. It doesn't really say like... It doesn't really say if he still plays or not. It says is a Spanish footballer rather than was. But his Wikipedia just ends. So I don't even know if he's still playing or not. Fish says, you look like Francis Coquelin. Well, that is the look I was going for. I mean, I'd argue that he looks like me. But I'm happy... Okay, I just had another look at him, because that's not who I thought it was. I do not look like this guy. In what world? I don't see it. I was thinking of someone else, but I do not see the likeness. Corner to Germany. What's his name? Kimmich is taking it. Ikram says, how will Alisson rotate to balance fatigue? To be honest, goalkeepers are generally not really rotated or rested in that sense. They do tend to be rested in kind of cup competitions sometimes if it's not an important game. But for most of the quote-unquote important games, your main keeper tends to play. So I don't think Alisson will be rotated. What will happen, now I won't say what could happen, I'll phrase it as, what will happen is Alisson will get injured, because he gets injured every season. So there will be plenty of opportunity for Mamardashvili to flex his muscles. Alisson has a tendency to get injured in training. Give it a few weeks before it happens. Fish is back. Wow, at the exact same time that Tupac disappeared. Oh my god, it's just a coincidence. It's like Superman and Clark Kent. Cross by Kimmich, headed away. Conor Bradley's down. That's not what we want to see. We do not want to see Conor Bradley down. But I think he'll be okay. As I say that, the referee's calling someone over. It's calling the medical team over. Honestly, if that injures him, I'm going to be annoyed as hell. Because that didn't look that bad. He just fell over and another player fell on top of him. Fish says no VAR. Is there no VAR in this? Mr. Default says, who's playing? Germany versus Northern Ireland. It's currently 1-0 to Germany, courtesy of a Serge Gnabry goal. And it's about 20 minutes gone. Oh wow, Conor Bradley's proper bleeding from the nose. He looks like he's just been attacked. Ikram says, how will Wirtz change the way Liverpool attack low blocks? I mean, you'd like to think that was the whole reason that he was bought. Specifically with his kind of passing and his ability to find space, I'd say. Coming up against low blocks, traditionally, perhaps not so much in Salot's first season, but especially in the Klopp years, was a big issue for Liverpool because teams would play low block. Liverpool would try and pass it around. Liverpool would eventually pass it to Trent or Robertson, who would try a cross, and that cross would then be cleared. So I'd say, in addition to kind of using Wirtz as a focal point to find players with his passing, I'm hoping he'd add a degree of unpredictability to the attack. Because I think in the previous generation, the attack was potentially too predictable because you just knew they're going to pass it to Trent. You just knew they're going to pass it to Robertson. Whereas now they could pass it to Frimpong, or they could pass it to Kirkers, or Wirtz could just pass it forward himself. So hopefully it adds a bit of unpredictability. That's one thing. Secondly, with unpredictability, you'd hope more players would perhaps try and mark him, and I think if more players try and mark him, that then opens up space in other positions. Because 2 players in one position means 0 in another position. So that's the intention. Let's see if it happens. Fish is eating cat food. Well, that's very good to know. That's just brightened my day. That has. I mean, my day was empty previously, but knowing that you are consuming, and is it Whiskers or is it any particular brand? A Volta-Made with a shark goes wide. But knowing that you're eating cat food is, it's the best news I've had in a while. Yeah, Volta-Made should have really got that on target, but it is what it is. Yeah, Ireland are just completely unable to attack at the moment, to be honest. Anthony says, who you watching? Germany versus Northern Ireland, aka Florian Wirtz versus Conor Bradley. Germany currently winning 1-0. Fish is in Tesco. Well, if you're in Tesco, make sure you get me something. Also, that's very late for a Tesco to be open. Like 8 o'clock on a Sunday. Is it one of those Tesco Express things? I mean, I know you're not actually in Tesco, but for argument's sake, it must be a Tesco Express thing, right? Fish said what? You said you're in Tesco, but I said Tesco is not open this late. On a Sunday. Ikram says, will Wirtz settle into English football quickly? I hope so. I think a few people are perhaps kind of jumping the gun to a certain degree. There's a tendency where if you don't score a 30-yard goal, then you're terrible and you're a waste of money. But in reality, that's not how life works. I do think he needs to improve his physicality to a certain degree, but that's fine because that's one of the things you can improve. That's why they've built a training complex called the AXA with fancy weights where you can squat and deadlift to your heart's content. You can also bench press. You can also overhead press. They've probably got a few machines as well. But yeah, physicality is one of those things that you can easily improve. Like if you've got a bad first touch, you can't improve that. If you're slow, you can improve that to a certain degree. But you'd still hit a ceiling to a certain degree. Whereas if you need to be a bit more physical, then yeah, eat some beef, eat some chicken, hit the gym, and before you know it, you'll be throwing people off the ball. Tom Veloso 360 says Brazil Palmeiras. Are they playing right now? Well, they can't be. I think Brazil are playing soon, I think. Tom says hi. Hola. I think it's hola in Portuguese. I think. Fish, I have no idea what that means. But I like how you accented the A at the end, which makes me think it does mean something. Ikram says, I love your personality. Thank you. Come on, Germany. Do something. This is the problem with international football. It's so damn slow. So damn slow. Luca says hi. How you doing, Luca? Hope you're good. Tom says Liverpool Hermao, which I think is brother. Is it? Yeah, Liverpool brother. I like that. What's the word for thank you? Is it obrigado? Obrigado. I think. Yeah. Counter-attack, Voltome loses the ball. I mean, I hope it doesn't sound like I'm hating on him, but he does keep losing the ball. Fish says, me vape. I mean, number one, that's a very poorly constructed sentence. And number two, I didn't know you vaped. Is there a particular type of vape that you go for? I mean, I don't know what flavors they do. I don't vape, but you must have a favorite. It's probably cat food, knowing you. I'm pretty sure mint is one. You're probably a mint type of person. Crossing by island and nothing happens. Absolutely nothing happens. Nothing in the slightest. What can you do? Oh, it's another corner to Ireland. Let's hope they do something with this one, because they've not had many chances. So if they can score, that would be nice. But they don't score. Head it over. McNair heads it over, and a German player's down. That's a shame. Do you think Liverpool should play more attacking football in general? I'm not necessarily sure about more. I think they've got quite a good balance if you think about it. I'd say Klopp's football was more attacking, but then that made you a bit more susceptible at the back. Whereas I think Slot is a bit more reserved, and typically doesn't commit players forward as often. So I'd say I don't necessarily think there's a need to play more attacking football. I think the balance is fine. It's about making more quality chances with the chances you do create, rather than risking creating even more and then opening yourself up at the back. And hopefully that's what they've tried to do with the players that they've signed. Oh, Rudiger just loses the ball in a terrible position, but Germany save it. So yeah, I've never thought, I never thought and never felt like there was a need for them to attack more. I think it's just about making better use of the chances that they have. And perhaps that's a small tactical tweak to a certain degree. Fish was eating his shorts, selling rich fish stuff. What do you mean by rich fish stuff? Is this like jewels and pearls that you've uncovered at the bottom of the sea, or is it some other type of rich fish stuff? You need to. And were you selling them in Tesco, or were you just selling them in a different market? Corner to Ireland. They've just scored. What was that? Corner to Ireland. Price, he just volleyed it, and it just went like over the keeper's head. It went over the keeper's head. And Ireland have equalised. Yeah, 1-1. That's a bit of a surprise. It's also against the run of play. I mean, he was completely unmarked at the back post as well. They're just showing the replay now. Yeah, just completely unmarked. Yeah, it's terrible defending. The Anfield stand says, is Wirtz performing well in the match? Not particularly, if I'm honest with you, but I'd argue like none of the German team are. Like they got a goal from a counter, Serge Gnabry, and since then I'd say the team as a whole, they haven't really done anything, and that's kind of proven to a certain degree with how Ireland just equalised. The whole kind of German setup just feels a bit lethargic. It's a weird like It's a weird 3-4-1-2 formation. And I'm like, do you really need that much at the back against Ireland? I appreciate they want to come up with a universal way of playing that they can use against all teams. But even then, 3 at the back just always looks and feels pretty lame. Can Bradley hit 5 assists this season? Yeah, he should be able to hit 5. I think he'll have more opportunities in the team this year. Okay, that was good. That was good by Wirtz. Won the ball in a dangerous space. But yeah, I think Bradley will have more opportunities. 5 across all competitions should be pretty easy. I guess the only real concern with Bradley is his fitness. He's a very good player. Going forward is very good. Defending is very good. In the air is very good. He's pretty quick. He's pretty strong. The only reservation is his fitness record. A strong breeze has a tendency to give him a 3-week injury. So if he can just stay fit, then yeah, he should hit the numbers. Fish says, "Oh, lost in the woods that we screamed. I don't even want to do this anymore, 'cause you already know what you mean to me, and our love's the only war worth fighting for." I know that song. Is that Cheryl Cole or something? You'll have to tell me who that is, 'cause that's it's gonna bug me slightly. Ikram says, "Can Gravenberch screen the defense? Can Gravenberch screen the defense as effectively as Endo does?" I mean, you'd think so. Gravenberch was the starting defensive midfielder. Why is my hand up here? What's that about? Gravenberch was the starting defensive midfielder last year in a title-winning team. That to me says he's doing a pretty good job. He does do it differently to Endo. Endo was more of a kind of traditional ball winner and tackler type of guy, whereas Gravenberch is, I want to say a bit more intelligent, but I don't know if that's the right wording. But Gravenberch is a bit more silky, a bit more skillful, a lot quicker on the turn. But also he has the physicality to put tackles in, like you saw against Man United, when he pressed Casemiro and then Luis Diaz scored. So I'd say yeah, he's doing a really good job. And from what we can see this year, he is the starter again. To the point where Endo is now out of the team. Because if you think about it, when Klopp was here, Endo was the starter, and Gravenberch was on the bench. But when Arne Slot turned up, that flipped to a certain degree, where Gravenberch was now the starter, and now Endo was on the bench. So I'd say things are looking good. Fish says MM. I don't know what MM is. Please stay. I want you. I need you. Oh God, don't take these beautiful things that I've got. Please stay. I want you. I need you. Oh God, like why is the spacing bad? Are you like copying and pasting these things? I feel like you are. There's me thinking you were coming up with lyrics. Don't take these beautiful. And why is the T on these capitalized? What's that about? That must be the start of a new sentence. Don't take these beautiful things that I've got. Is that the used? No, it can't be. Yeah, that song doesn't sound familiar. The previous one did, but that one I'm not too sure. Ireland with another throw in. Come on, Ireland. News has says who is better, Liverpool or Crystal Palace? Well, I'd go for Liverpool, but if I recall, I think you might be a Crystal Palace fan, so therefore, if it will make you happy, I'll say Crystal Palace. Ikram says, do you think Liverpool need a new striker in the transfer? No. I'd say Liverpool have a abundance of firepower. The exception is if there's a right winger available who they think can take over from Salah. There's been rumours about Michael Elise having a release clause that Liverpool may seek to activate. So if Elise is available and suddenly he's got, or somebody in the ilk of Elise is available and suddenly they've got a release clause which is only active for a short period of time, then maybe they should take advantage of that as somebody who can, I say provide competition from Salah, but ideally take over from Salah. But that's an edge case. That's a exceptional scenario. Generally speaking, I don't feel like they need a striker, considering they've just bought two. I think where they should target their efforts is on a centre back, because Liverpool have Van Dijk, who is 35. Liverpool have Konate, who's dreaming of sunnier climes in Madrid, and Liverpool have a 18-year-old. And Liverpool who have Joe Gomez who gets injured if you look at him funny. So I'd say centre-back should be the priority. Some stuff came out today that Liverpool might not be interested in Mark Gahey in January. That to me is complete nonsense. Of course they are. They're probably just saying that to kind of get the price down. That sort of thing. There's no way you spend an entire year compiling data reports on somebody, compiling analytics on somebody, and then if you miss out, to then not go in for them 3 months later when they're significantly cheaper. It just doesn't make sense. So yeah, I think that's just a silly news story during a slow news cycle. I think they'll be back in for him in January. But yeah, a striker, I don't think a striker is needed. Centre back. Fish is wishing me happy birthday. Thank you very much. I mean, it's not my birthday, but I will say thank you regardless. Is that why you were at Tesco? Were you getting me a birthday cake? Well, that's very nice. Jay says, why would Liverpool need a striker for the transfer window if they have Gakpo, Isak and Ekitike? Yeah, I agree. I think the focus should be on a centre-back, because that is the area of most risk. We are one Van Dijk injury away from the season not going as planned. just stole the top of it. I've not heard that one before. But to be fair, they're playing pretty well. 1-1. Nice little set piece to get an equaliser. LFC Rasaf says Wirtz is bagging today. I hope so. Germany as a whole are playing pretty poorly. Wirtz has been okay. One reporter says we'll go for him in the winter, another says summer, and another says we are out. Yes, I think they're making up conclusions based on the side of bed that they get out of in the morning. I think the guy that gets out on the left says we're going to go in for him in the summer. The guy that gets out on the right says, says we're going to go for him in the winter. And the guy that doesn't get out of bed at all says we're out, because that's the most nonsense take, I think. For me, it doesn't make sense. Like, they spent God knows how long. Ooh, is that a goal for Germany? Nah, Germany are offside. For me, it doesn't make sense to spend a year scouting somebody to then say, we don't want you anymore. Now, I appreciate that does make sense if, say, 2-3 years pass, but 3 months is nothing. I think they'll definitely be back in for him. Jay says they need to focus on their central midfielders because I don't think McAllister is going to last much longer. McAllister is like mid-20s. When you say don't think last longer, do you think he's going to ask for a move somewhere else? Because if that's the context, then maybe. But from a fitness perspective, I think he's still good. The thing is with the slot brand of football, it's a lot less intense than the Klopp way. So thankfully, I doubt we will have a Oxlade-Chamberlain situation with McAllister. But I appreciate he is South American, so there is a risk that he could seek a move to sunnier climes, in which case we may need to replace him. You know when you got a sore throat and you just keep coughing and you just don't fix it? So that's what this is for. I don't know what that song is, Fish. Murat is from Amsterdam. Very nice. I've been to Schiphol Airport. I don't think I've been to Amsterdam, but I've been to a town next to Amsterdam called... Oh, it's going to bug me. Yeah, it is pretty big. I went there a few years ago for work. I will go there traveling, but what was that town called that I went to? It'll come to me eventually. But yeah, it was nice. Nice country, very clean, I must admit. I am gonna be there in a few months, but just on a layover. But yeah, I hope you're good. Hope you're good, Murat. Pitch Pro says, who's your favorite player? Daniel Sturridge. Is that who's in your picture? But to be fair, I did really like Daniel Sturridge back in the day. Right now, I'd go for Ryan Gravenberch. Gravenberch was my favorite player last year, and I still quite like him. How about you? Have you got a favorite? Fish says, who is Fish? I'm Emma Dawes. Is that DOS lesson not a DOS lesson? I mean, I'd presume you are Fish, given your username is Fish. I'm searching for that town near Amsterdam that I went to because it's just irritating me that much. I'm like, what was it? Which Liverpool player would win on Strictly Come Dancing? I mean, previously Roberto Firmino. I know he's not there anymore, but I think he would have won it previously. In terms of who's there right now, Strictly Come Dancing. Who looks like they can dance? Frimpong, maybe? Frimpong? Frimpong seems like it'd be a good dancer. I'm just going through like half the team and they all seem like they'd be terrible. I'd probably go for Frimpong. But I don't know, he might be a bit shy. He seems a bit introverted. I'm like, Sabazlai, no. I'll have to think about that. Pitch Pro's all-time favorite player is Firmino. Good choice. Now, go Gomez or Salah. I really like Gomez. I like his versatility. Like, he can play right back, he can play left back, he can play centre back, and he'll pretty much always put in a 7 out of 10 performance wherever you put him. I think that's invaluable. He's also English, so he counts towards the quota. And I think he's been at the club since he was 18. I remember we signed him from Charlton back in the day, but I think he also counts towards the homegrown Champions League list. So yeah, I really like him. I think Joe Gomez is good. Salah's a good choice as well. I haven't made up my mind yet for this season. But yeah, last year was Gravenberch and still Gravenberch currently. Half time in this game, still 1-1. I will stop the timer for half time. Oh, there we go. Pitch Pro says cheap as chips. Yeah, literally. I think Gomez was like 3.5 million or something like that. Do you remember when he signed? He was holding the shirt up. He was on some sort of skyscraper. And to be fair, he had a weird haircut when he signed. He's got a much better haircut now. And he didn't have a beard when he signed, so that's probably why he looked weird. But yeah, 3.5 million for what? Close to 10 years of service, I think. Can't really complain. Ikram says, should Liverpool give more chances to young academy players? I think they do give chances to young academy players, and I think that's why I think that's why Liverpool are able to acquire academy players from other teams so easily. I was very young, but I remember on the telly, yeah, Joe Gomez. It's going back a while now, to be fair. Boulay Arafat says hi. How you doing, Boulay? Hope you had a good weekend. But yeah, should Liverpool give more chances to young academy players? I think they do. I think they do a good job of it. It's tough because you have to find some sort of balance between kind of giving chances to the young players and not overcommitting in that area, because if you overcommit, then suddenly you're not playing the senior players, and then suddenly you're at risk of losing the game. But I think generally speaking, I think Liverpool are quite good at that. Like I'd probably give them like an 8 out of 10. Like you've seen Curtis Jones come through, you've seen Trent come through. Now you're seeing Rio Ngamoa get into the team. You're seeing Trey Neone get into the team. And apparently that's one of the main attractions of Liverpool over like a Chelsea, as an example. So at Liverpool, they provide a pathway for youngsters to get into the team and then progress into the senior team. Whereas at not every other club, but at a significant proportion of other clubs, that pathway doesn't exist. You just get loaned out, and then eventually sold. So I think Liverpool do provide a pathway to that. So I think they're striking a good balance. Maybe they can be a bit more, what's the word? Maybe they can give a few more chances, because I won't lie, there are certain games where Liverpool are 3-0 up and I'm like, okay, can you just bring a youngster on just for experience? But generally speaking, I think I'm quite happy with the balance that they've struck. Boulay says, when did Salah enter Liverpool? Must have been about 8 years ago. I remember thinking, what? Why are we buying that guy? Why are we buying that guy? He was rubbish at Chelsea. But it must have been about 8 years ago now. Taster Tester says, how's it, man? All good, thank you. I've had a good weekend. I've had a busy weekend, but productive. All good. How's things going with you? Hope you had a fine weekend. Pitch Pro says, would you sell Chiesa? Unlikely, because realistically, what could we get for him? Like 10, 12 million? And like 10, 12 million doesn't really move the needle. You know what I mean? I'd rather have a player available on the bench than get 10, 12 million for him, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining that terribly. I suspect I may be. But I'd be looking for at least like 20 million. And if you can't get 20 million, you might as well just keep the player, I think. Because he does have value. He does seem to come off the bench. He does seem to get goals. He does seem to want to be at the club. And I just feel like if you sell him for 10 million, what are they going to do with the 10 million? You can't get anything for 10 million these days. So I'd personally keep him unless like a very good offer comes in, or unless they identify like a suitable successor, which means that Chiesa can't really be registered. Like for argument's sake, like if they signed Malik Fofana, it would then further push Chiesa down the pecking order. To that point, you'd probably be like, okay, you might as well just sell him. But based on how things are right now, probably not. Would you sell him? Taster Testers says, it's going all right. I'm just very tired. It's been a very busy week. 7 days left until leave. Can't wait. Is this your 3 weeks of leave? Bet you're looking forward to that. How was your day away yesterday? That's a good question. I was planning to go, and then it was just too hot. But the thing is, it was the world deadlift championships yesterday. So I like watching football, and another sport that I like watching is like strongman, like world's strongest man. And yesterday it was the world deadlift championships, which is basically it's the once a year event that I like the most. Like there's the shoulder press championships, boring. There's other championships, but deadlift championships is the one that I like, and that's the one I was watching yesterday. And the record did get broken, so I was happy to see that. But I might go out next weekend. I'm going on holiday on the 4th of October, so hopefully I can go out next weekend just to ensure, just to warm up basically, because I walk a lot on holiday. Pitch Pro says, I'm gonna like and sub. Appreciate that, Pitch Pro. Very, very kind of you. Thank you. Durwood says, I'm so happy you're streaming. I'm at the old house cleaning and it would have been very quiet and boring. You and Fish are keeping me entertained. Good stuff. Good to hear. Hope we give you extra energy to get the job done. But yeah, my thing just froze, but it came back. But yeah, hope we're helping, and it's good to hear. It's good to hear we are keeping you occupied. Anthony says, how many goals do you think Isak will get this season? Hopefully a lot, because he's in my fantasy team. But it depends when he comes back. Probably 15 to 20. Boule Arafat says, who can you bench, Ekitike and Isak? I'd say if they're both 100% fit. Let me take a step back. Right now, I would bench Isak because he's not fit. So I would continue to start Ekitike. But if and when we reach a situation where both are fit, then I'd probably bench Ekitike. Unless Slot does a weird thing where he plays both of them. But for argument's sake, if he plays Gakpo on the left, I'd put Isak up top. But right now, with varying levels of fitness, Ekitike has to start. Pitch Pro says, how often do you stream? Generally like 3-4 times a week. Generally like 3-4 times a week. You'll see it when the kind of thumbnails come up. But generally speaking, all the Liverpool games, like no question about it. The only exception is if I'm on holiday, but I only got, most of the time I'm at home, so it's all good. But yeah, pretty much all the Liverpool games and maybe a few more during the week. Durwood's birthday is on the 3rd. Durwood, is that the 3rd of October? Because you know how I mentioned somebody else's birthday is in October. It's also on the 3rd. So that's a weird coincidence, but a good coincidence. It's a very good coincidence. Go on holiday for me too. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I'm hoping to have a good time. I've not been away for a while. Where a while is like 5 months. The General, how you doing? General says evening. Hazza also says evening. Hope you guys are doing good. Bench Mo versus Burnley. It's an option. Who would you play on the right wing instead? I guess would be the question. Ikram says, "Is this a fair contest?" On paper, no. But to be fair, Ireland are hanging in there. So right now, I mean, it's looking pretty good. Durwood says, yes, see, I know I liked you. there was a 1 out of 365 chance that we would have the exact same birthday. That's just funny. Wait till Pixel hears about this. He's not gonna believe it. Where are you going? Canada. 5 nights in Montreal, and then 5 nights in Toronto. So yeah, looking forward to it. Should be good. I'm gonna miss the Chelsea game, unfortunately, but that's the only game I'm gonna miss. It's Chelsea game, and then it's like there's a long gap, and then it's Man United. I'll be back for the Man United game, so I'm only gonna miss the Chelsea game. I'm gonna try and get Wi-Fi on the plane and see if I can watch it on the plane. Like, you're not supposed to, but I'm gonna give it a go. Pitch Pro says, when would you sell Salah and Van Dijk? That's a good question as well. To me, it depends kind of what replacements are available, if you know what I mean. Like, I wouldn't want to sell Salah and then get somebody worse than him. But equally, it's tough. It's tough. Like let's start with Van Dijk. Van Dijk I wouldn't sell because even Van Dijk at 35, I don't think there's anybody available better. Like can someone tell me someone who's better than Van Dijk? You know what I mean? Salah can maybe be improved on. Salah had a very good season last year, but even I will admit a lot of those goals were penalties. So let's for argument's sake, I was gonna say let's say we get Elise in the summer. Would you then sell Salah? I don't know, Okay, let's to pick an extreme example. Like I know this will not happen, but to pick an extreme example, if Liverpool were to sign Yamal, for example, then I'd probably sell Salah. But the thing is, Elise is very good, but is he gonna have problems adapting? Is it better just to keep Salah around with Elise there and then let Salah go on a free next year? There's just too many dependencies, and I'm explaining this so badly that I've probably confused everyone. But you know what I mean? I'd say it depends. It depends entirely on the situation. And the flip side is also, what do you think we could get for Salah? Could we get 100 million from Saudi? If we can get 100 million from Saudi, I'd maybe consider it. If it's 50 million, I'd probably leave it. The general would play Curtis Jones on the right wing. Interesting. That is a bold call. General thinks it's Mo's last season. I've got a feeling it might be. I appreciate he signed a 2-year contract. I've just got a feeling it was a 2-year contract because they're gonna cash in after 1 year to Saudi. Again, that's just a feeling, and I've had quite a few feelings that are completely wrong. But it wouldn't surprise me if this was his last year. Daniel Berry says, "Hey, happy Sunday! Hey everyone, how you doing, Daniel? Hope you've had a good weekend." And yeah, hope all is well. Dawood says, you can work on your French. Oui, je parle un peu de français. Je pense que je parle trop de français pour Montreal. Which is basically saying, I think I speak enough French for Montreal. The problem is, in December, I'm going to Italy, and I do not speak a word of Italian. And like when I was doing my research, like most places you go on holiday, right? They'll have like if you go to a restaurant, they'll have like all the listings in their language, and then they'll also have the listings in English, and you can just say, yeah, I want whatever. But in Italy, it's not like that. It's just in Italian. So there I'm gonna struggle. But avec le français, should be good. Dawood says, I don't see Salah leaving on a free. He's too good of a person. He'll do what McAllister did. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, to be fair. In terms of basically signing a additional contract with a smaller release clause so that the club at least gets something. I mean, if he does that, that will kind of round off his story, and it would be like the perfect ending to a certain degree. It would kind of come full circle. So yeah, I'd like it if he did that. I've heard a rumor as well that the 2-year contract he signed does have an option for a third, and perhaps the option for a third has that release clause built in. But I think you're right. I don't see him leaving like solely on a free. Like he will wanna give back. Boule Arafat says, can you be a touch? What do you mean by a touch? A touch. Glory says, do you think Isak wins the Golden Boot? Unlikely. It's not impossible, but if you think about it, we're already 3 games into the season, and I think he's. I was gonna say I don't think he's fully fit. He's not even vaguely fit because I watched the Sweden game 2 days ago purely for Isak, and he was on the bench and he didn't even come on. He didn't even come off the bench. So realistically speaking, it's gonna take him a couple of weeks to get up to fitness, and by that time he's lost 2 months. So I think a Golden Boot will be tough this year. Next year maybe. But I think this year it'll be tough. Not impossible, but it'll be tough. The general says, take pictures of the food you eat in Italy. Yeah. If I do that, it will be like... How long am I going for? Like 7 nights. It will be like 16 pictures of pizza. Because I've been planning it and I'm like, okay, I'll go here, then I go for pizza. I don't know if I'll be sick of pizza after like day 3. Maybe I should try pasta or something. I will say the best pizza I've never been to Italy before, but the best pizza I've ever had was in New York. I think about it like most days. That's how bad it is. Like I just think about that pizza like most days. So we'll see how Italian pizza compares. It's a different style. It seems to be kind of more thicker and bready, whereas New York pizza seems to be more kind of crispy. But I guess I'll find out. Lucas says, do you think he'll play in the Liverpool versus Everton game? Because I'm going there. Firstly, very nice. Hope you have a nice time. It's pretty much the best game to go to. In terms of when that game is, let's have a look. Liverpool versus Everton. Uh, 20th of September. 20th of September. So that's 2 weeks away. I'd say there's a chance he starts, but he's definitely on the bench. I think he's definitely on the bench. So you'll definitely get to see him. Where are you sitting? Are you sitting in main stand, in Cop, Kenny Dalglish, or Anfield Road? But yeah, I think you'll definitely get to see him. Spain up 4-0. Damn, should have watched that one. This game is still 1-1. Are you watching that game, Taste the Testers? Is it a fun game? It must be because of the scoreline, but is it a good game in general? Glory says, who scored the German goal? It was Serge Gnabry. So there was a counter attack. Gnabry through. Gnabry then basically lobbed the keeper for 1-0. So yeah, Serge Gnabry. The general says, can't beat an Asda pizza. I've not had an Asda pizza in a while, but they are quite good. Like they are quite good. Especially the ones where you can like build your own pizza. They're really good. Iceland pizzas as well. Pretty good, can't lie. Weirdly, with frozen pizzas, like the more expensive shops are not as good. Like I've tried the Waitrose frozen pizza, meh. I've tried the M&S one, meh. But the Iceland one, very good. The Asda one, very good. Users been trying to get a Liverpool ticket for ages. You're basically saying they've only got hospitality available. Yeah, it is difficult. If you have a membership, like it is quite easy to get pre-season ones. So I went to the Liverpool Bilbao double-header game. Because naturally it's pre-season, so there's less demand. So I was able to go to that. Was able to also go to the Legends game, but a few months ago. And it's good. Like I had fun. But yeah, with Premier League, it's harder to get the tickets. Lucas in the cup, very nice. Enjoy. Can't get much better than that. Glory says, "Do you think Flo will hit the ground running very soon?" I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think he did a lot better. He did a lot better versus Arsenal in the second half. The way he's playing, like you can see the intelligence and you can see the game IQ. What has been frustrating is that a lot of his, like he'll do the hard thing and then he'll just do a terrible pass and it will just go straight to the opposition. To me, that's nerves. And that kind of makes sense why in the Arsenal game he's starting to look better, I think, because I think the longer you do something, the less the nerves, or the more the nerves go down. So yeah, I think he'll do well. I do think he needs to perhaps beef up slightly. Like I don't want him to put on too much muscle. I think he does need to put on a bit of muscle, but that's fine because muscle is something you can easily put on. That's what the AXA training complex is for. Ooh, Germany with a shot there. So yeah, I wouldn't say I'm overly concerned or anything. Taster Tester says Mikel Merino got 2 goals, Pedri got 1, and Ferran Torres got 1. I'm not checking. I just checked the score, and it's 5-0. Wow. You must be happy with the Merino goals. Merino does tend to get quite a lot of goals. Can't lie. He should perhaps just become a striker. Rita says Liverpool. Liverpool indeed. How are you, Rita? Oh, Marina hat trick. Wow, okay. So that was the 5th goal. Crazy. He's on fire. Boule Arafat says, why is Kanate not given a new contract? To be honest, I think he has been offered a new contract. I think they're just in that negotiation stage. Kanate probably wants X pounds, let's say 250. Liverpool, maybe they're only offering 200, so then they're at a bit of an impasse. So I think they're still negotiating to try and find some sort of midpoint. And I think additionally, I think he might want to go to Madrid because his bestie Kylian Mbappe is there. So I think he might just want to go. So I think unfortunately it's just one of those situations. I think the club are now handling things a bit more professionally because you see kind of when Diaz had 2 years left, they sold him to Bayern. So I think the Konate situation is a remnant of the old management structure. But going forward, it shouldn't happen again. But if I was to guess, I think he's probably going to go for a free. But kind of as I was saying, the next time this happens, so let's say McAllister's got 2 years left. If they don't make any progress on signing a new contract, they'd probably sell there and then, like they did with Diaz. Zaim says, have you been? I've been good, thank you. How have you been? Hope you had a good weekend. I agree with Wirtz's physicality. Newcastle really showed him what the Premier League is about. Yeah. I do think there will be a adjusting period, which I think is fine. I think that's kind of why they've built that AXA training complex. They got plenty of weights there. They got plenty of barbells. They got plenty of dumbbells. They got plenty of kettlebells. Honestly, it's the fanciest gym I've ever seen. And generally speaking, if a player is to lack in anything, I would much rather it be physicality because you can easily add on muscle, especially with the facilities that they have and especially with the chefs that they have. And especially with the doctors that they have, they can easily just put him on a lean, high protein diet and he can add on muscle. So like, if a player is lacking in anything, I'd want it to be physicality. because you can add physicality. If a player's lacking in passing ability or IQ, I can't really make him smarter. If a player's not quick enough, you can make him a bit faster, but not to the extent of which you can improve physicality. So yeah, I do think there are physicality improvements to be done, but equally, I do think he was a bit nervous in the earlier games. I often felt like he'd do the hard part, like he'd make the space with an amazing turn, and then he'd just pass it to the opposition. So I think a bit of it is nerves, which should decrease with time. Which Liverpool player would be the DJ on the team bus? Apparently Van Dijk. I think he pulls rank and says, we're playing where I say. Spain 6-0 now. As always, I picked the wrong game. Wirtz almost got an assist. Yeah, that who are Spain playing? Sorry, did you mention earlier? See if I can find it. But yeah, is that gonna hit double figures? Because it looks like it might. Pedri's second goal. Bull says, "Can you give us a touch in the chat?" What do you mean by a touch? Let me know what you mean by a touch. Can you give us a touch in the Champions League? I don't know what you mean by touch. Glory says, rate our summer signings. Okay, fair enough. I think with respect to a rating, I'm not just gonna rate the player. I think it also makes sense to perhaps rate not rate the fee. I think it also makes sense to have the fee as a piece of kind of metadata that affects the rating, if you know what I mean. So like if a right back goes for 10 million and they're good, they're a 10 out of 10. But if they go for 300 million and they're good, then they're not a 10 out of 10. So Frimpong about 30 million, maybe 8 out of 10, because I think he's young, he's versatile. Kirkes 40-ish million, 8 out of 10. I appreciate he's more expensive than Frimpong, but he's Premier League proven. So I think that explains the higher fee. So Kirkes 8 out of 10. Mamadashvili, I'm going to sound like a broken record, 8 out of 10. And I think a lot of that 8 out of 10 is because I believe he was around £30 million, which is pretty much nothing these days. So I had to give him 8 out of 10. Who else have we signed? Wirtz, I'd probably say 8.5 out of 10. Probably 8.5 out of 10. He's still very young. I can see the potential. I can see what he offers. I think his passing ability is very good. I think he has skills that were seriously needed within the team. So I'd probably be leaning towards an 8.5 out of 10 for him. Who else? Isak. Isak, again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. 8 out of 10. Very good striker. Premier League proven. Has tormented Liverpool over the years. There's this one goal where he just cuts it onto his right foot and just leaves Van Dijk in the air and then smacks it top corner. Isak, I'd say 8 out of 10. If Isak was like 100 million instead of 130 million, I would probably say 9 out of 10. But I think I have to factor in the fact that it was 130 million. So I'd probably go for 8 out of 10. Ekatike, before he signed, I was thinking 5 out of 10, but in the short time he's been here, I'm leaning towards 8.5 out of 10. Let me know if I've missed anybody. What are people saying? Glory would give Isak a 10 out of 10. Fair enough. I mean, he is one of the best strikers in the world. Germany through here. And they fluff it up. Good defending by Conor Bradley. I'd say from a quality perspective, he's a 10 out of 10. The only thing that would kind of hinder my rating is the fee and the fitness to a certain degree, but I don't think I can emphasize that too much. Frimpong 8.5 says Alexander Isak, aka Milos Kerkez, aka Hugo Ekitike, aka Giovanni Leone. Oh, I forgot about him. We should just go through our friend's username history here to find the players that we signed. Giovanni Leone, yeah. Germany almost scored. I mean, Leone maybe 8.5, and again a lot of that is because of the fee. But you'd say Frimpong 8.5, Kirk is 9, Verts 8, Isak 9.5. Yeah, to be fair, like similar sort of ballpark, I'd say. Spain are playing Turkey. I mean, I think all of Turkey are going to need a hair transplant if Spain continue on this route. Bool says, explain Liverpool journey of the Champions League this season. Oh, right. So do you mean how do I think they do this season? I think they'll do well. I mean, last year they won the group, so I think this year they might not win the group, but they'll be pretty much up there, top 3 at the very least. So yeah, easily progress out of the group stage, and then after the group stage, you have the knockout rounds. I think they'll get very, very far in the knockout rounds. It wouldn't surprise me if they won it. But I think winning it is highly dependent on. Oh, Germany have scored. It's whoever their number 10 is. I don't know this guy. But Germany have scored. Amat or something? Is it Amir? But yeah, with respect to the knockout rounds, it's highly dependent on who you get in those rounds. If we get PSG early or Barcelona early, it could be tough. But if we don't get those, I think Liverpool could go all the way, and they could win it. They could win it. I think they would have done a lot better. I think they would have done a lot better last year if they didn't get PSG so early. Fish is back. We should sign Jonas Hoffman. So in the last few days, you've wanted Jonas Hoffman and Emre Can. That was a good one as well. We should make you sporting director. Blessings, peeps. How you doing? Hope you're good. Oh yeah, Freddie Woodman. I forgot about him. Honestly, Freddie Woodman, like 4 or 5. Like, he doesn't seem particularly good, if I'm honest. But equally, let's be honest, he's brought in because he's English. He fulfills the quota. 5. Rio Ngamoa, 10,000. I think he has. I think we signed him last year, but even so, if we pretend that we signed him this year, the fee for Rio Ngamoa hasn't quite been decided yet. But I'd be tempted to say 10. So to sum up, in terms of the question that Glory had, rate our summer signings out of 10. Frimpong, I think 8 out of 10. Free kick to Germany. Frimpong 8 out of 10 because he can also play right wing and he was quite cheap. Kerkez 8.5 out of 10. I appreciate he was more expensive than Frimpong, but he is Premier League proven. Leone 8.5 out of 10. Very young, cost basically nothing. Verts 8.5 out of 10 because I can kind of see the potential, and again very, very young, and I think he's going to be a star for many years to come. Ekatike, 9 out of 10, I think. Maybe 8.5 because he was a bit expensive. 8.5, but he surprised me by how good he's been. Isak, I'd say 8.5. I would give him a much higher score if he wasn't 130 million, but I think he's absolutely amazing. But the 130 million does influence that to a certain degree. Mamadashvili, 8 out of 10, costs basically nothing. He's 6'6". That's an easy 8 out of 10. And finally, I know Rio Ngamoa. Well, not finally. Ooh, Verts just scored a free kick. I know I said Verts 8.5 out of 10. Let's make that 10 out of 10. The thing is, I saw he was taking a free kick, and I didn't want to jinx it. But he just scored a free kick, top corner. As our friend says here, Verts with multiple Zs. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the replay of that now. Freddie Woodman, 4.5. Let's be honest, he was brought to fill in the English quota, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're just showing the replay, for the Verts free kick. Yeah, nice free kick. Right-footed, dipped over the wall, and then sharply dipped down. Nice goal. Let me just increment the score. But yeah, I was just joking. I'm not going to actually change the Verts score. Verts is still 8.5 out of 10. Rio Ngamoa, I know a fee hasn't been agreed with Chelsea yet with respect to the tribunals and all that nonsense. But it's probably going to be nominal, and I'd be leaning towards a 9.5 just because 9.5 out of 10 just because he was so cheap. Which Liverpool player would win in a fashion show? I know nothing about fashion. You're probably asking the wrong person. Which Liverpool player would win in a fashion show? I don't know what they wear, to be honest with you. You'd have to help me with that. Glory says, do you think Slot doesn't back Federico that much even after his match day 1 heroics? I think you're right. There seems to be something there. There seems to be some reason why he doesn't play. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a bad attitude in training. We don't see any evidence of a bad attitude on the pitch, but I don't know. There does seem to be something there. I mean, if you think about it as well, there was an Asian tour earlier in the year, and he was not taken on the Asian tour. He's then given a chance in the senior team. He scores those goals, as Glory mentioned, and then he's out of the team again. And now he's not in the Champions League team, which I appreciate is probably because of the English quota, and they couldn't take him. But even then, it's something's gone on there, and we won't know. We'll find out in like 5 years, and let's be honest, who's gonna care in 5 years? But there is something that's gone on there. Marino scored a hat-trick for Spain. Yeah, I think Gyökeres's starting spot might be under threat. I mean, he gets goals. Taste the Testers is off. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Cheers, and we will be back soon. Enjoy your evening too, Taste the Testers. Take care. Hope you have a nice week. And yeah, see you soon. Van Dijk, the best fashion. To be honest, like sometimes like I see like the kind of stylish not photo shoots. You know when they take photos where they come into the AXA training complex and they take candid photos, which, let's be honest, they're framed in a candid way, but it's deliberate. Like they know like photos gonna be taken. And I see it, and I'm like, I don't get it. I'm like not a fashionable person. Like my my entire wardrobe is like £5 t-shirts and things. Like I'm not like into fashion, so I wouldn't know. Rate, traitor scale, Manquillo, Cody, Benitez. Cody number one. Cody's the worst out of those. Probably then Benitez, but I have a feeling he was sent on a secret mission to sabotage them. And third, Manquillo. I don't have any kind of ill will, any sort of ill will towards Manquillo. Yeah, I didn't even. No, I did see the third goal. Wirtz's goal was the third goal. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I don't know why it didn't update. But yeah, thank you, Glory. Noel says, did you see the Wirtz free kick? Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. Funnily enough, they're just showing the replay right now. But yeah, he basically got it quite high up and then it dipped suddenly and went in. Very nice free kick. And that's the positive about Liverpool, or the next iteration of Liverpool, is that you've got multiple set piece takers. You got the Sabazlai free kick from the other day, and now you got Wirtz who's capable of taking free kicks. It's good, man. It keeps things more unpredictable. Yeah, Wirtz. Good free kick. You kind of sound like Gru when you do the funny voice. Which funny voice? Because I do quite a few funny voices. And also, who's Gru? Is that the one from Guardians of the Galaxy? Or is that Groot? No, that's Groot, isn't it? Who'd you take to protect you? Joe Linton or Adama Traore, if each one was trying to attack? Oh, Joe Linton easily. Adama's old muscle. But like Joe Linton's from Brazil. You don't want to like Joe Linton's more lean. Like you know what I mean? Like Joe Linton's got that. I was gonna compare him to Alex Pereira, but it's probably not a fair comparison. But like Joe Linton feels like he'd be a bit more aggressive, whereas Adama looks imposing. But I feel like he's probably just a nice person in real life. LFC Max says, have you seen Liverpool rejected an offer from Besiktas for Chiesa on loan? How do you feel about it? Yeah, it makes I agree with that. There's no point loaning him out because he's not like a youngster. So you just be losing him for nothing. I'd rather just keep him on the team. He's a versatile option. He can play centrally. He can play on the left. He can play on the right. Loaning him out, I feel, doesn't really achieve anything. I'd rather just have him around. Fish is here. Fish is back from Tesco. Ikram says, is this match entertaining? It has suddenly become entertaining after the Florian Wirtz goal. I've also realised I ain't even started the timer, but we'll that's okay. We will... So the timer is going to be wrong for most of this stream, but never mind. There you go. I need to program a way for it to... No, I was going to say I need to program a way for it to stop after 45 minutes, but that doesn't take into account injury time, which is a variable. Gru from Despicable Me. I'll be honest, I've not seen Despicable Me. I'm going to Google him though. This guy. I'll have to... I've not seen the movies. I'll have to see what he sounds like. Alexander Isak feels like Joe Linton would spear Traore. Yeah, he would. He would spear and jackhammer him for a 3 count. And then when he's done, he would do a 5-star frog splash. These are all the moves that I remember. Ikram says, can Kirkes provide strong defensive numbers? Yes, I think so. He was in the team of the season for the Premier League last year, not solely because of his attacking contributions, but also because of his defensive work, number one. Number two, against Arsenal, he was very defensively sound. Madu AK found it quite difficult to get any sort of room. So Kirkes in many respects feels like the Hungarian reincarnation of Andy Robertson, and I am all here for that. Branko channel says, do you think we will get the quadruple? No, unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. It's very difficult to win every single trophy. But for me, like, if Liverpool win, and I appreciate everyone has different expectations and different standards. But for me, if Liverpool win at least one of the majors, which is Premier League or Champions League, I'll be happy. Personally. I know some people want us to win both, and that's fine as well. Like I say, but me, if they win one of them, I'll be super, super happy. Search for the song On the Throne again. Is this your Despicable Me Gru guy? What is that? What is that movie even about? Despicable Me? Like, is he the despicable one? He's the protagonist. He's the protagonist, so he's the good guy. I always thought, I don't know why it's not, oh there, that's why. I always thought this was the bad guy. This is the good guy. I always thought this guy was evil. How tall is Gru? 226 centimeters. Yeah, that can't be me. That's got to be close to like 7.5 foot. Seven minutes left for the Irish to potentially get 2 goals back, but it's pretty much entirely been Germany. Zaim says, would you be happy if Arne Slot puts out weakened teams for the FA and EFL Cups to prioritise the League and Champions League? Me personally, yes. I couldn't give less of an F about the FA Cup or the EFL Cup. Even when we get to the final. And I'm like, I'll watch it, and I want, like, when you're watching the game, I want us to win it. But like, generally speaking, don't really care. And if we lose it, for example, as we lost it to Newcastle, a few hours later, I'm like, we got more important things to worry about. So for me, and I appreciate everyone's different, and I appreciate there's no right or wrong answer. People would push back and say, look, a trophy's a trophy. We're a big team. We need to win everything. And I understand that as well. For me personally, I legitimately don't care about either of those. Now, there is an argument, though. There is an argument that by playing senior players in those cups, whilst you do risk injury, you do build up rhythm and you do build up familiarity. So by building up the rhythm and familiarity, you actually improve your performance in the serious competitions. So there is that argument as well. But in terms of like winning the FA Cup, don't care. It's one of those, I genuinely, and again, it's just the way I feel, and I can't change the way I feel. I think we did a parade a few years ago when we won the FA Cup and Carabao Cup. I didn't even watch it. I think part of the reason was it was the day after losing the Champions League final, but I didn't even watch it. I don't know if that's a controversial take. The general says, "Can we see without your cap?" Yeah, but there's not really much hair. Emre Can is injured. That's unfortunate. How long is he injured for? Some player ratings. Wirtz is a 9 out of 10. Frimpong is 8 out of 10. Isak is 9.5. Kerkez is 8 out of 10. Mamadashvili is 9 out of 10. Italian defender Leone, 8.5 because of the profile and being the future. Rio Ngamoa is a 9 for the same reason and future proofing. Overall rating window 9, missing Gehi and missing a winger and a CDM. I think those are fair ratings. Like I think those are fair ratings. The only thing I'd maybe slightly tweak is I'd maybe slightly put Kerkez a bit higher because he's Premier League proven, but I'm being picky. I mean, Wirtz is a 9, okay. Frimpong 8, yeah. Isak 9.5, okay, fair enough. You're probably taking the price out of it, but generally as a player, yes, 9.5. Mamadashvili I'd maybe put down slightly. Leone 8.5, Rio Ngamoa 9. Overall 9. Yeah, I think those are good. I think those are good ratings, and I think they're quite fair ratings overall. Alexander Isak's teams for cup matches. Woodman. Oh, I wouldn't go that far. Whilst I don't place any value in the cups, I'd probably play Armin Pesci. You know, the young Hungarian goalkeeper we bought, 18-year-old. Like, I'd rather he get experience rather than Woodman get his, like, to me, there's very little point in playing Woodman when you can just play Pesci and you get experience. But nevertheless, Woodman, Robertson, okay, yeah. Gomez, Leone, Bradley, okay, I see that. Neone, McConnell, Endo, okay, yeah, I see that. So you'd have Endo, probably the deepest, and perhaps Neone alongside him. Rio Ngamoa, Will Wright, and Chiesa, yeah. Pretty good lineup for the Cups. I mean, other than Freddie Woodman, who I seem to have some sort of agenda against, thinking about it now. But other than that, it looks quite good. Not being greedy, just support wise. Yeah, I think your ratings are good. I like them. I see the logic. Fish says Oxlade Chamberlain to Gornik Zabje. Here we go. Are you signing him on a free? I believe he was released from Besiktas or wherever he was. What is the stand? As in this stand? I got it off Amazon. If you want the exact link, I can try. If you send me a message or something, I can try looking for you later if you want. It wasn't expensive, to be fair. It's like £10 or something. £10, but it's proper metal. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's pretty good. Isak says Wirtz 8.5, Kerkez 9, Mamadashvili 8, Leone 8.5, Rio Ngamoa 10, Ekatike 9, Frimpong 9, Pesci 5. Okay, Pesci 5's a bit harsh. Pesci's my guy. I mean, he was like, he cost pennies. I mean, if you're that cheap, you can't be a 5. Freddie Woodman is class. Did you see him against Preston? I went to watch the Bilbao game. I was sitting in the main stand. All by myself for some reason, because everybody left. But I was watching him live, and I was like, "What is this bakwas?" Which means, "What is this nonsense?" I mean, he's fine. I don't know why I'm hating on him, but Armin Pesci for me. Zaim says, besides Dalglish, Barnes, and Gerrard, what player pre-Klopp would you put in the current starting 11? Luis Suarez. Oh no, but you mean in the current starting 11? So therefore Isak would be out. Potentially Javier Mascherano. Potentially Xabi Alonso. whilst I think there is a greater need for a centre back, I don't think the centre backs pre-Klopp are all that. Like, I know Sami Hyypiä is great, but like, I watched him. It was fine. But there's a reason why he cost 3.5 million from Willem II. Like Hyypiä, again, he was fine in his day. Carragher is fine in his day. Daniel Agger, maybe. Of all the kind of legacy centre backs, and it feels weird calling them legacy centre backs, Daniel Agger was my favourite. But if you said, look, you got to make a decision right now, it would be close between Mascherano and Alonso. I'm just trying to think. Do you think Alonso has the physicality for modern Premier League? That's the only thing that's hindering my thoughts. Mascherano definitely does. So if you kind of think Alonso does have the physicality for Premier League in 2025, then I'd go for him. If not, probably Mascherano. As we've seen, when Gravenberch is out, we look. So as we've seen, when Gravenberch is out, how we look, yeah, not particularly good. And Mamardashvili is in the next tier already for what we got from Spain. His numbers were just sort of excellent. Yeah, fair point. I think Mamardashvili, he was a data signing, so ranked very highly on the data. And I think also you can see it in the way he carries himself. I mean, he's 6'6". He has a certain level of confidence and swagger about him, which I think you need. So yeah, I mean, and he was also very cheap if you think about it, Mamardashvili. So I can see the logic behind giving him a high rating. Ooh, Verts almost got an assist if that number 7 could finish. Yeah, 9.5 for Sales. Yeah, I think Sales very good. I think in total was it about over 200 million. Over 200 million was brought in from Sales. Zaim says, does Mascherano replace Gravenberch? Probably not, if I'm honest. Alonso to replace McAllister. It was more the difficulty with the difficulty with the question is we're a lot stronger now than we were pre-Klopp, if you know what I mean. So it's almost like picking somebody from an inferior team to replace someone in a superior team. Mascherano would not replace Gravenberch. He'd more kind of replace Endo. But then your pushback might be, so of all the players to get, you're getting someone for the bench. Which I'd be like, okay, fair point. Alonso would just be like another piece of the puzzle. Ideally, like I'd want a centre-back, but I just don't think the centre-backs back then were very good. Isak is saying Skirtle. Like I didn't like Skirtle. I liked Daniel Agger. Like Daniel Agger I liked. But just trying to think. That pre-Klopp era, it felt like it was strongest in midfield and it was strongest in attack. The defence was no good, in my opinion. So therefore, since it was strongest in midfield and strongest in attack, I'd rather pull from one of those two buckets, even if the player's not a starter. Like I'd rather have Alonso or Mascherano on the bench rather than like a Jamie Carragher, I guess. Search the 32-year-old man. That's Jay Spearing. Yeah, he looks about 52. Which Liverpool player would be worst at chess? Who doesn't seem particularly smart? I mean, they all seem quite intelligent, to be honest. I mean, Salah would be the best at chess because he does play chess. I don't know if that's cheating by not answering the question. Out of all time periods in history, what would be your dream? Oh God, I struggled enough with the last one. The thing is, with all time periods in history, the thing is for a lot of those players, I didn't see them, so I can't really I can't really like Graham Souness. I never saw him play because it was before I was born, kind of thing. Um, but of the players that I've seen, again though, it's like it's highly dependent. It's highly dependent on the formation. But I think you'd have to have Gerrard in there. Um, and the remaining two positions over three, there's like 10 different players you could put in there. You could put McAllister in there, I think. You could put Alonso in there. You could put Mascherano in there. Some might make an argument for Jamie Redknapp. I wouldn't. Gerrard, McMahon, Alonso, yeah. I think though, based on all right, Jamie Redknapp, yeah, yeah. I was considering him. I think though, like based on what kind of season, McAllister has this year, if he has another, amazing season, I think he could force himself into that convo. If he performs like he did last year. Without your hat, you look like I had no idea who this is. Who's Zegrova? Oh, this is the. I know this guy. Is he like Bosnian or something? No, Kosovo. That's it. Yeah, I see it. See what you mean. That one, I can at least understand to a certain degree. Yeah, he transferred to Juve. The reason why I know that is because I was creating thumbnails. I was creating thumbnails for Kosovo versus Sweden, which I might do tomorrow. I don't know if I'll do it, if I can be bothered. But I was thinking that's the guy I had to put on the thumbnail for Kosovo versus Sweden. So yeah, I wouldn't have known who he was 3 days ago, but as of 2 days ago, I do. But anyway, that's game over. Germany ended up winning. I'd go for John Barnes, left wing. Rush or Suarez at centre forward. Salah, right wing. Defensive midfield, Souness, Wijnaldum. Yeah, Wijnaldum was underrated. Yeah, very underrated. With Wijnaldum, I think we only kind of realized what we had after he'd gone. Like sometimes you miss something after you lose it, and I think that was a case of what happened with Wijnaldum. Gerrard, Van Dijk, Stevie Nicol, Robertson. Right back's hurting my head if not Trent. Yeah. Phil Neal, as Zaim says, yeah, could be right back, yeah. Steve Finnan. I don't know if many of you guys saw Steve Finnan. The Steve Finnan was the right back we had when I was growing up. I always thought Steve Finnan was very good. Fish says that garlic bread. I've not had garlic bread in a while. And now you're going to make me eat garlic bread tomorrow. And I'm going to end up putting on loads of weight because of you. Because with garlic bread, you can't just have one. You just got to have loads. SFC Joe says, what do you think of the Onana deal? I mean, I get it. I get it. He's performed that badly for Man United. They probably want to get rid, which is kind of on the one hand. On the other hand, nobody probably wants to pay money for him and get him permanently based on how he's performed. So loaning him out is probably the only option they had, if you think about it, all things considered. Phil Neal, great shout. Yeah, was a good shout by Zaim. You look like whoever that is. I got no clue who that is. You can tell how kind of. I do not look like this guy. Look at his face. Like, what the hell? How do I look like this guy? Honestly, what? He looks like Kane after they took the mask off. Yeah, I don't see it. I do not see it. The Bosnian, the Kosovan guy, I was like, okay, I can see it. Time is it? 10 to 10, this match is over. Game is completed. Germany 3. Ireland 1. What's the time? It's 10 to 10. But anyway, I'm gonna go because it's getting quite late. Match is over. Good match overall. Good goal by Florian Wirtz. Let's be honest, that's basically what everyone cares about, myself included. I might be back tomorrow. I'll see how I feel in the morning, but I don't know yet. But if I'm not back tomorrow, probably be back on Tuesday. Will England win the World Cup? Nope. Should have taken the hat off, I guess. Yeah. Have a blessed one and big up. Yeah, you too. Take care. As I said, probably be back on Tuesday. But yeah, I hope you guys have a nice Sunday. And yeah, see you guys soon. Take care.